Big companies are being warned to start paying their suppliers on time or risk being hit with fines, potentially worth millions of pounds.
It's part of a crackdown on late payments, which caused major cash flow concerns for small businesses, even forcing some to shut their doors, costing the economy £11 billion a year. We're joined now by Small Business Minister Gareth Thomas. Governments have talked for years about cracking the problem of late payments. Is what you're doing going to make a difference this time?
Yes, I believe it. Yes, I believe it will. It's the biggest package of new rules and new measures for 25 years. It will give the Small Business Commissioner new powers to force companies to the table and potentially increase significant fines on large companies that are persistently late payers. We'll bring in maximum payment terms as well. So I do believe these measures will make a significant difference. As you say, it costs the economy £11 billion a year, and it drives 38 businesses a day in this country to the wall. And that's simply an unacceptable situation. If we want growth in our country, we have to tackle that issue.
You're launching this small business support with Keir Starmer, the Prime Minister, today. There'll be lots of small businesses up and down the country saying that for all this talk of support and help, they, since April, have seen a huge increase in their national insurance payments. In fact, Labour supporter Gary Neville was saying critical things just a couple of days ago. I mean, for Gary Neville to be critical of the small business tax rise on national insurance is a problem for you, isn't it?
Well, we had to take difficult decisions in the budget last year to steady the public finances. Those difficult decisions have resulted, for example, in extra police, which are helping us to crack down on shoplifting and other antisocial behaviour, which makes it so difficult for many small businesses on the high street. But that money is also helping to pay for improvements in the National Health Service, which obviously helps to get people back to work more quickly. So again, it is helping small businesses. But as you rightly say, small businesses need more support, and we're publishing today a whole package of measures, the ones on late payment that we've touched on, but measures to improve access to finance more generally for small businesses, and a new business growth service modelled on the US Small Business Administration to make it easier for small businesses to get the advice they need to start up and grow their business when they need it much more quickly.
I think part of the problem last autumn in the budget was that it came as a big surprise to small business, the scale of that national insurance rise. But now looking forward to this autumn's budget, it's widely expected the Chancellor will have to raise taxes by £20 billion a year, maybe even more than that. Isn't the right thing for you to do to prepare the ground and to say this to small business and to the economy more widely? If you want to have stability in the economy, sound public finances, decent public services, small business is going to have to pay some more tax.
Well, if you'll forgive me, I'm not a Treasury Minister. I'm not the Chancellor of the Exchequer. I think it's for Treasury Ministers and the Chancellor of the Exchequer in particular to set out decisions and to look at those decisions in the run-up to the budget. What we're doing today through our plan for small business is to address a whole series of issues and problems that small business owners talk to us about, in particular the issue of late payments, but also issues around how businesses get the advice they need, whether they can have further support to take advantage of the new trade deals, for example, we've done with the EU, the US and India, and take advantage of those by finding new markets overseas. So it's a comprehensive plan that we're publishing to support small businesses over the much longer term.
Which I'm sure would be very welcome. I mean, would you resist, though, on behalf of small businesses if the Chancellor proposed putting up tax? Because as Ed referenced, you know, if we want decent public services and we want all the things that we want, the money's got to come from somewhere. All morning, our lead story has been this expected revelation from the Royal College of Nursing vote that nurses have rejected the offer and will be likely to strike. We know that GPs are talking about action and renegotiation of their deal because they're unhappy about Wes Streeting's 10-year plan. You're not a health minister, but you're part of the government. So people feel very worried and disappointed in the Labour government.
Well, I think, as I said, we made difficult decisions in the budget last year. Those difficult decisions are helping us to make improvements in our public services. They've enabled us to recruit...
I'm sorry, but they're not, though, because one of the things that the money went to was to try and resolve the pay deal with resident doctors, used to be junior doctors, and also deal with nurses' concerns and remedy that, but they're back asking for more. So if we're going to find more, which at the moment the Health Secretary says he isn't, but if we're going to keep the health service working in the way that you want and delivering your plans, we're going to have to find more money, aren't we?
Well, with respect, those difficult decisions are leading to improvements in public services. We do want to go much further because people rightly have much higher expectations of the need for change in the NHS, in policing and in our schools. But, for example, we committed 12 months ago to increase the number of new appointments in the NHS by 2 million. We've actually gone further than that, and there have been 4 million new appointments in the NHS. And we are beginning to see a reduction in waiting lists.
Yeah, but that's threatened by the strike action and the lack of resolution of it. Because that's the problem, isn't it?
Well, you're absolutely right that we do not want to see strike action by resident doctors or by anybody else in the NHS, which is why the Secretary of State for Health, Wes Streeting, has made clear his willingness to talk, in particular to resident doctors about their situation and the issues and challenges they face, because we recognise that improving the working conditions of both nurses and resident doctors not only improves the situation for them, but it also improves the NHS more generally. So we did have to take difficult decisions last year. It is perhaps worth pointing out that by increasing the employment allowance, we also ensure that 1 million small businesses either paid no national insurance or at all, no national insurance contributions at all, or didn't see any increase in their next bill. So we did take a series of steps to help small businesses last year. And we've committed to bring in permanently lower business rates for retail, hospitality and leisure, crucial sectors for our high street, many of them dominated by small businesses.
Gareth Thomas, good to speak to you this morning. Thank you very much indeed.